The Legal Practice Council is investigating over 1,000 lawyers in the Eastern Cape for various offences. Most of the allegations include fraud, theft and practicing without relevant certificates. We're now joined by Alfred Hona, Eastern Cape Provincial Director of the Legal Practice Council, to help us make sense of what's going on in the province and hopefully nationally. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. Perhaps set the scene for us. Just how bad is the situation?
Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you for having me, and also good afternoon to your viewers. Just to set the scene, we are receiving quite a number of complaints in this province, as well as not only in the Eastern Cape, but nationally, as and when we receive them from the members of the public or any person aggrieved by the conduct of any legal practitioner, as and when we see conduct that is unbecoming of a legal practitioner in the media or social media, then we deal with those sort of conduct.
In the Eastern Cape, it's reported to be over 1,000 cases that you are dealing with. And when we take a look at a picture or a national picture, what are the numbers?
The numbers of active complaints are around about 20,000 that we are dealing with nationally.
And what are the kind of offences that we are speaking of?
They range, they are different in nature, but mostly we're dealing with allegations or complaints about or involving bringing the legal profession into disrepute, because one of our objectives of the Legal Practice Council is to maintain the integrity of the legal profession and to determine appropriate standards for ethical conduct for professional practice. So any conduct of that nature, if the legal practitioner does not conduct herself or himself appropriately as required in terms of the code of conduct, which was promulgated in terms of the Legal Practice Act, then we deal with that kind of complaint. And then the next is instances where allegations are made by the complainants that lawyers have not accurately accounted for monies received to their clients. And the other one is where the allegations that the monies which have been deposited into the trust account of attorneys have been stolen or misappropriated.
On a scale of...
And those who are practicing without a fidelity fund certificate as required in terms of the law.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being most serious, 1 being mild perhaps, just how many serious cases are you dealing with and what do they pertain to?
Look, ma'am, from our perspective as the LPC, any offense or contravention of the code or rule or any provision of the Act is considered a serious, hence in terms of the code or in terms of the provision of the law. Some of the offenses, are classified or can be viewed as criminal in nature. But to answer your question directly, anything which involves failure to account or misappropriation of trust funds and practitioners, practicing without the requisite fidelity fund certificate, those ones we view as serious, because practicing without a fidelity fund certificate is specifically stated in terms of the law that it is a criminal offense.
Of these some 20,000 cases you are dealing with nationally, are these lawyers still practicing, given that any offense is a serious or any allegation is considered to be serious? So are these lawyers that you are looking into still practicing?
Yes, some of them, but as and when we receive complaints or it comes to our attention that a person has committed an offense, then we take the necessary action, because in terms of the law, then we must bring an application to the High Court either for their suspension following an investigation or disciplinary inquiry proceedings, then for them to be struck off the roll. So pending the finalization of those internal processes as required in terms of the Act, they may be practicing, but there are many who have already been dealt with, who have already been suspended. So in that regard, it is our request to the members of the public out there, if they are uncertain, to check with any of our provincial offices in any of our 9 provinces or from our website as to whether a legal practitioner concerned is practicing or suspended.
You mentioned the members of the public. What is a direct consequence of legal practitioners who are operating without the necessary certificate, who are taking money from clients or benefiting unduly? And so when we also take a look at the reputation of lawyers in the country, what kind of confidence does this instill that you've got some 20,000 practitioners that you know of at least that have been reported who are under investigation?
Yes, look, there are many that are being presently dealt with, but the legal consequences, as I've indicated, practicing without a fidelity fund certificate as required in terms of the law is not only a criminal offense, but it is also a misconduct. So disciplinary steps are taken. In addition to that, we are bringing high court applications to have them suspended pending their compliance, and then where they don't comply, then also disciplinary steps are taken against them.
Thank you very much to Alfred Hona, the Eastern Cape Provincial Director of the Legal Practice Council.